Today I'm out at Smyrna Dunes Park here in New Smyrna Beach, Florida, and as I'm out here walking and filming this, I am painfully aware of my need for a gimbal. So with that being said, if any of you guys are trying to think of, hey, what can I get Tinker for Christmas this year? A gimbal for a DSLR would be rad. This has been an absolutely incredible week for me, and if you follow me on Instagram, you might already have an idea what I'm going to share with you this week. But after 11 years of ministry, I am no longer the owner of Wisdom Skateboards. Several months ago, God really put it on my heart that it was time for me to start thinking about transition for the ministry. And quite frankly, it's gone back far more than several months. For the last couple of years, it's something that I've been thinking about. As I really started to pray and consider what I needed to do with it, you know, God put the story of Moses and Joshua on my heart. You know, Moses took Israel through the desert for a considerable amount of years, but it wasn't Moses' job to take Israel into Canaan. It was Joshua's job. And I feel like Wisdom Skateboards has a lot of awesome potential, but I do believe that it's time for a Joshua. It's time for the new generation to rise up and take it where it's supposed to go from here. That being said, Kyle Brush and I have been working together for a couple of years. Kyle has been our team captain on Wisdom, and I reached out to Kyle after prayer and asked him to consider taking over Wisdom Skateboards. And what's interesting is God had been preparing Kyle's heart, so if the opportunity ever arose for him to take the leadership position with the ministry, that he would be ready to take it. Now, if you follow Kyle, and I'm going to highly recommend that you do, if you don't already follow him, go check him out, TrueSkateDude88 on Instagram. Dude is super rad. He's a rad skater, but he's more than that, he's a rad human being. And you can check out the vlog up here that he and I did a while back when he came and we went and hunted some alligators together while he was in Florida before he went to Africa. But it had been on Kyle's heart for some time that if the opportunity ever arose to take over as the leader of Wisdom Skateboards, that he was going to take that opportunity. And so when I reached out to him, it was just like confirmation that this was the time. Kyle reached out to his board said, yep, go for it, and now Kyle owns Wisdom Skateboards. Now I'm going to stay on in the background of Wisdom to help Kyle, to help him understand the business side of the way a skateboard company works, manufacturing processes and technology and all that kind of stuff. But Kyle is now the new man in charge at Wisdom, and I could not be more stoked for it. Kyle, I love you, man. You're an awesome dude, and I could not think of a better person to hand the reins off to this to. And you know, truly, I do believe that you are the Joshua that's going to take this skateboard ministry across the Jordan into the promised land and on and on and on. And man, I am so stoked to see where it's going to go, and I'm going to be here to support you every step of the way, man. So I'll keep you guys in prayer. I'll keep you guys covered. If you don't already know about Wisdom Skateboards, please go check out wisdomskateboards.com. Check out the team. Kyle's probably going to be making some changes, but I know that he appreciates the heart of the ministry, and he's going to do what's right by it. So Kyle, man, go get him, dude. I love you, brother. Oftentimes when I'm preparing to record, I drive around, I look for a place that inspires me. I get inspired by my surroundings and people that I hang out with and nature and just the beauty of God's creation. And today I came out here to this park As I'm walking on this really long path, there's probably a couple of miles of pathway that you can walk on here, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful out here. But you can see I'm walking on this really long path, and I'm out here all by myself. There's nobody else out here. Now there's lots of folks down at the beach, and we're closing out on the end of summer, but I'm walking on this path by myself. And you know, sometimes when we're doing ministry, when we are doing the thing that God has called us to, we find ourselves walking these paths, you know, kind of like I'm walking on this pathway today. And oftentimes we can find ourselves out here completely alone. Sometimes that's okay when things are going all right. And other times, man, it feels pretty lonely when you're out here doing all this by yourself, you know, when you're out here and you're on the long path and you're all by yourself. I get that. For 11 years, I have done ministry in action sports through skateboarding. And oftentimes in that 11 years, I've kind of felt alone. I've kind of felt hung out by myself. And other times God's given me great friends and people to do ministry with and to hang out with and to create incredible things. But sometimes we walk this path by ourselves. So I've told you how Wisdom Skateboards has transferred over to Kyle Brush. God's put this new thing on my heart, and being out here on this path really helps me to understand where a lot of you guys may be at. You know, if you, like me, you're out here walking on this path and you're all by yourself. As far as you can see, there's nobody else around, and you just feel isolated, you feel alone. God has put it on my heart to try to bring about some change in that area. One of the things that I've observed over the years in action sports ministry is that a lot of times we're like these little islands, kind of out there all by ourselves, doing our own thing, and sometimes that works, and sometimes that sucks. But as I was preparing to release Wisdom Skateboards, you know, once God really started to put that on my heart, and I really started to receive it, because that, quite frankly, is something I never expected would happen. But God put it on my heart, I received it, and it felt right, and He gave me perfect peace about it. But He gave me this new journey, and that new journey is Impact Ministry Alliance. Now, if you go to impactministryalliance.com, I've already set up a web page there. I've been working on this for weeks. And essentially what it is, it's a tool for us as ministers, both in action sports and other ministries, what I call in the trenches ministries. These places where you do ministry in these uncomfortable spots, you know, like, I'm not talking about like in the church or whatever. I'm talking about like taking it out into the dirty places, into these places where other people don't want to go, into places where it's dark and involved, like bars and sex trafficking and skate parks and porn addiction and all these things, right? So Impact Ministry Alliance is a connection mechanism. It's a tool that we're going to use to connect and stay connected with each other and to encourage each other and to help each other and to serve each other. It's starting off as a directory, and I'm releasing some training materials, and I'm partnering with some people to have some training materials. So if you're trying to get started in one of these areas, there'll be some resources out there for you so you can go get training in those areas. But more importantly, I want you to be able to connect with people. I don't want you to be on this long pathway all by yourself. I want you to be able to connect with people that are already doing ministry, or like-minded people that have the same heart that you have, to get you connected to something awesome. So maybe you've been doing, let's say, skate ministry like I've been doing for 11 years. You know, one of the things I always found hard to find was other skate ministries. And that's because we're all out there kind of doing our thing. Some of us are connected and some of us are not. But I want you guys to be able to be connected. I want to utilize the contacts and the resources that I have to be able to get you connected to other people that are doing skate ministry, both in your area and all over the world. Now, right now, I have it set up so it's just the United States, but very soon I'm going to open it up and I'm going to create, I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but maybe like a map or something so that you can choose different countries. I don't know exactly how that's going to work yet, but I do know that this thing is global. It's not just here in the United States. I've already got a friend in Australia and a friend in Thailand that I'm talking to about it. So I know I've got to address that. So very quickly, I'm going to be turning that into a global thing so that everybody can be connected. But I want you guys, if you're doing ministry and in the trench type ministry, if you're going to these dirty places, these dark places, you're doing these hard things, I want you to get connected to Impact Ministry Alliance. I want you to support it. It's not something that you have to buy into. It's not a club. It's not a group you have to join. There's no dues, there's no fees, there's no cost, there's nothing. This is a resource that I'm putting out there because this is something that I needed. This is something that I wanted when I got started. So I'm hoping that by doing this, it'll be an immeasurable help to you guys. I want you to be able to get the resources and the help and the contacts that you need. And I do believe that Impact Ministry Alliance is going to be a pathway to help you accomplish that. So if you know somebody who's doing that kind of ministry, or if you know of other ministries who should be on the directory, please forward that information to those guys. I want this to blow up. You know, God's given us all this incredible technology, and our enemy uses it against us and everybody else all the time. So why don't we use it for our good? Why don't we use it for good? Why don't we use it for our purposes? Why don't we use it to connect and get people connected? So please, if you know somebody who is doing some kind of an impact ministry, or if you're doing it yourself, please get connected, get them connected to Impact Ministry Alliance. I'm confident that we'll all be better for it. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I love you guys. God bless. Bye.